Finally, today we want to take a look ahead at some of the trends we can expect in 2013. And Larry, let's start with you. The economy, the Farm Bill, your thoughts as we start the new year.
Well, we'd be remiss if we didn't start with the fiscal cliff, so-called. And I think where I'd like to start is to say that most of us by now have probably figured out it's really a slope or maybe a curb. But there's still some important things to say. I think we need to realize that if we don't have a final answer on this within the next few days, we are going to have a couple of months to do something about it in Congress and with the administration. When we get out about 3 months or so, we're going to begin to reconsider this as a possible cliff. So we're walking that proverbial tightrope right now. It looks like we're coming together and there'll be a solution, but it may take a while to work out the details. And what we've got to realize is that with that, we've bound up the Farm Bill as well. We had the Senate act on that a while back. We had the House Ag Committee act on that a while back. And we're kind of waiting for those to come together and become one bill out of conference that can move forward. The president's been pretty clear that he's going to stay out of it and just sign what comes before him. So the devil will be in the details. And I think as we look ahead to 2013, it will become something that will be an important part of the risk management program for folks. If we get through this fiscal situation that we've developed in Congress, we're going to see that the year is going to be a relatively good one. We'll see a decline in unemployment. The economy will continue to pick up steam, and it'll be a pretty good 2013 for most folks. If we languish around and trying to get a solution for this, we're going to find that we'll probably find ourselves back into another mid-year recession that will be short but serious.
Okay. Kim, are we going to continue to see some decent prices?
I think we're going to continue sideways patterns. You know, the analysts are saying that we can rebuild corn stocks in 1 year. It takes 2 years for wheat stocks. Two things are holding up wheat prices: corn and the drought. If we get rain and we get lots of corn, then I think as we get into June, July, probably August or September, we could see wheat prices back off into the $7 range. Corn prices, you know, Darrell and I have talked about where is the real level of corn prices now. $5.50, $6, somewhere in there, $6 to $7 on wheat. I think that's the prices as we look out in 13 and 14. That's where they're going to gravitate back. Could we see $4.50 corn or $5 wheat? Yes, but I think $6.50 to $7 on wheat, $5.75 to $6.25 on corn is where I think we're going to go. There's a lot of things we can talk about with the government program. Crop insurance, I think, is an important. Those are all uncertain, and we don't know what's going to happen there.
Okay, Darrell, on the livestock front.
Well, in terms of beef markets, you know, from a consumer standpoint, 2013 is going to be important because really the impacts of what's been building for a number of years will start to really come home to roost. We're looking at about a 4.5% year-over-year decrease in beef production in 2013. 2012 is about a 1.5% down, so only a modest amount compared to that. So we're going to see sharply tighter supplies at the consumer level. That's going to put those pressures on, and it's going to depend on that domestic demand question that we talked about earlier in terms of how fast those prices can respond. For producers, with or without good demand, you know, cattle prices are going to stay high. Cattle numbers continue to get tighter. The tightest supplies are ahead of us, probably not until 2014, to be honest with you, but 2013 will be ever tighter supplies, less cattle, not only in the U.S., but in Mexico and Canada as well. And so we're going to see those tight prices. Obviously, from a producer standpoint, especially cow-calf and stocker producers out in the country, it's all about the drought. And if we have more drought, 2013 in Oklahoma could look like a bit of a repeat of 2011. We're facing the prospects of another significant round of liquidation in the Southern Plains if we have a dry spring after a dry winter like we did in 2011. If it rains, we get back on track, we'll see even higher prices for cattle because we'll be trying to save some females. You know, and the watchword there for producers will be how best to recover, given your forages time to recover, and financially the ability to rebuild the cow herd is going to be a slow process for many producers. And so it's one that's going to take some time. It could start in 2013, but it really will just barely get started under the best of circumstances.
And you guys, advice for producers, one final word, Larry and Kim?
Risk management, it's the most important game in town.
Finances, we haven't talked about finances. I think price will take care of itself. If we have high production, we're going to have lower prices, we're going to have the income. If we have low production, we're going to have higher prices. Managing your money to stay in the ball game through good and bad times. I think that's the single most important thing they can do, is managing that money.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much for the discussion as always, and best wishes for a Happy New Year. And thank you so much for joining us. We also want to say a big thank you to Stillwater Milling Company for letting us spend some time here today. And from all of us here at SunUp, we wish you a very safe and happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2013.